Hey guys, Alex is here from CryptoLab. So let's do something interesting today. Let's build together a wave count on the MSTR. And therefore we might see also what the Bitcoin will do, because as you can see on this chart, and that's a MicroStrategy stock, which is one of the biggest holders of the Bitcoin, and the Bitcoin in orange price, as you can see here, it's pretty much correlated. So if you just kind of align it a touch, you will see that for most part these two charts are correlated. So we might get the clue from the MSTR where also Bitcoin will go. So let's do this exercise together, and let's see how do I actually build wave counts when I have this type of a structure. So we have different degrees of a trend in the Elliott Wave theory. So I always try to see which is the primary and which is the intermediary, in this case, degree of a trend. So for me, this part will be a first degree of a trend. So I will label this as a 1, 2, some type of a wave 3, 4, and 5. So this is a kind of a building, first building block. How do I try to see and have some orientation what is going on the chart? And as you can see, we have almost all the stocks and ETFs here, which are covering cryptos, and I almost build the same way wave counts on all of them. So if you don't recognize first the wave structure, you have to work a little bit on it. So firstly, if you are an Elliottician, this will be a relatively strange wave structure, because apparently there is only 3 waves up, so this will smell like a flat. But I did measure a couple of waves length here, so I will say here that I would rather, as I will say, put some type of a leading diagonal here, although the upper part of the wave count doesn't change even if you put a flat here, which is a little bit big for my taste. We do have some type of an ABC pullback. You can count it also as a 5-wave move, which will fit into the category of the flat. But if you measure some of the waves within this leading diagonals, and since you are coming from lows, sometimes these leading diagonals are not so perfect. And I gained that from the experience. So wave 3 cannot be the shortest sequence even in the leading diagonal, and if you measure the wave 3 and wave 5, you will see that the wave 3 is a touch higher than a wave 5. So from that part, this actual leading diagonal works, because the wave 1 is has the biggest length, then we have the wave 3 and the wave 5. So for me, this will work as a leading diagonal, and this will be a first pullback. So now we have to deal with the sequence where we have to identify 5 waves into an intermediary degree. So the next thing what I do, it's usually I put some fib ratios here to project where the wave 3 targets are. And this is, for that we used the projection tool. Somewhere in different platforms it's called extension. I think projection is a better term, but maybe extension works as well. So to align this in the trading view, you need to take this cross, because like this you will not anchor it, right? So you have to anchor it. So what we are measuring is a target for the primary wave 3, and for that we use projection from the beginning through the wave 1 and 2 and try to get the target for the wave 3. So the typical targets for the wave 3 are 1618, and then if we go into this tool, we can get a couple of others. So equality is one of the things which we already passed, but I will show you that. The next one we have 2618, which is a little bit extreme, and we have 2 as well. And as you can see here, they're quite nicely aligned here. So most typical one is 1618, then you have a 2, and extreme one is 2618, but I think these 2 might be perfect for this setup. And then when we get these targets, which are hypothetical for now, we are going to try to find if this wave 3, which is the intermediary wave, have 5 waves in it. So we certainly see that we don't still have a 5 waves in it, but obviously we are potentially gonna get it. So first, from this wave 2, we have to build 5 waves up. So wave 1, wave 2, wave 3, wave 4, and potential wave 5. So we have to turn this a lesser degree, which means we're gonna give it a different color. In this case, I gave it a yellow color. And as you can see here, we know from the Elliott Wave rules that the wave 4 cannot enter the territory of the wave 1, or the territory of the wave 2, more precise. So the wave count invalidation for this proposal, or this hypothesis, is here. So this will be clearly a wave count invalidation. We will label that wave count invalidation. So we know where we are wrong. So if this price goes into this territory, this proposal, how the things might unfold on the MSTR and most likely on Bitcoin, will be invalidated, and we have to go back to the drawing board and then do all of these things again. So in this moment, if we are expecting here some type of a wave 4, we definitely want to know where this wave 4 might stop and where we might get a potential reversal for this wave 5 with this couple of targets. So how do we do that? So the one thing first I will add is that we can add a base channel here on the primary wave count, which means we go from the you can do it differently, from bottom of the wave 1 to the bottom of the wave 2, so you get some type of support levels, and they're usually working very good. So let's make this to be a blue color, and let's make this a bit thicker. So we are right there, as you can see, touching these equality levels from the Fibonacci projection, and also if you look these 2 points, we are touching the upper boundary of this channel now, which might provide a solid support. Then you can look also for the RSI on daily, which works quite well. I think in all my 15 years, 20 years working with this, I learned that at least in my experience, RSI works pretty nice on weekly and on daily levels. So I'm pretty much confident to pair RSI with these possible reversals on markets, and I think they work well. So if you can see previous levels here, RSI was here and we turned exactly higher from this support. Also here with a little bit of a divergence, we also did that, and also here we also did that on the upside. So I think on daily they're pretty good. And then what we want to do next is actually measure with some retracement levels, so that is the other Fibonacci studies, for a potential wave 4 pullback to get additional support level. So we can do that by putting the retracement level from the wave 2 to the wave 3 to get typical 38% or 0.38% retracement, or 0.5 or 50 retracement, to see also additionally support levels. And as you can see here, the 0.382 works pretty well. I will allow with this RSI, or I will tolerate also if we get to another one which comes around 940. Okay, so there is this one of the steps also. How do you want to measure this potential wave 4 pullback and its length to the downside for this particular degree? So what we're going to do next, we're going to look a previous wave 2 length, and we can also put this line on the current length. So now they're about the same. You can always allow a little bit of an extension towards these levels, but pretty much now it's the same. So this might be it. MSTR move lower might be done, although we need a touch of RSI lower. I wouldn't mind if it turns higher. So in the case we go a touch lower, I think the secondary support, so this will be my zone from where I will actually observe what is going with the MSTR and of course Bitcoin. So this correlation still, if you look at it, still works. As I showed in the beginning, no matter what the wave count we put, we can do the same with the Bitcoin. It will be pretty much the same. So let's clean this a little bit and let's expand this a little. So what I like to do next is also add this base channel, but now I'm adding it. I do it always wrongly from the wave 2, but you should do it oppositely from the wave 1 to wave 2, but I think it's just a habit. So I will make this yellow just for you to see it, and then you will see that also we get additional support level from the base channel of the intermediary wave, and also it comes around between these two levels. Okay, so there is a relatively big probability that the price of the MSTR and Bitcoin will stop around these levels and then reverse higher. So what is the targets that I will look for this wave 5 on the upside? For that we will use our projection tool, and then the different projection we will apply. So what we will do, we will get a couple of ratios, and we will get them by extending this ratio from the wave 1 through the wave 3 and getting it from approximate levels in the wave 4, which will be here. So two targets for a potential move will be 0.382 and 0.618, which you can see here. So what we are getting with this, we are trying to get some clustering on the upside, where the couple of Fibonacci ratios meet for the best resistance levels. And I think for this reason that you see here and these numbers, the most better correlate or maybe kind of a join together is 0.618, 3241 and 2587. So this will be some target for the potential wave 3, and you can add additional things here where this intermediary degree 5-wave move on the upside develops. We can also add another Fibonacci ratio here, which can make you even a better cluster, or which means that couple of Fib ratios from a different degrees are clustering here to give you a potential resistance levels. So I know it sounds a little bit complicated. You need time to kind of size this up and make it in a certain order of how you do your Elliott Wave on charts, but this is something what I usually do. This is my procedure, but I will be waiting if I don't want to buy any lows, and usually I don't. I want to go on a smaller time frame, and then I want to see what's going on here on a smaller time frame. I'm carefully going to look this support, and then if I see some impulsive price action here on a smaller time frame in a wave 1, which means it has a 5 waves up and the pullback, that will be my potential entry for a small risk trade, because my stops needs to be here for the further development higher on this smaller level, which we need now to put in a minor degree, and then you will see it better. I will put it also here as a wave structure, so you can see how it will develop. And then as I said, this is a kind of a typical 5-wave move. So there is a wave 1, wave 2 pullback, wave 3, wave 4 and wave 5, and I can also get, when I have this 1, 2 and 3, I also can put additional potential Fib ratios when I get wave 4 for the clustering even more precise, where this wave 5 can finish, of this wave 5 of the intermediary degree, of this wave 5 of the primary degree. And then I can expect, looking this how the higher degree ratios works with this intermediary and minor degrees, I can expect that wave 4 starts developing to pair this correction here, because the primary degree is usually a most strongest degree, and as you can see, we still have unfulfilled 5-wave sequence on the upside. Since we went above equality, the probability is that most likely we will get to 1618 or 2, which are the two perfect targets. I think 2 will be a little bit more kind of a hyping price. I do think maybe this one between 2080 and 2587 will be most likely a ratio if we start to move on the upside, where the prices will reach and then start reversing in some form into this wave 4, which will be a pullback, and then a further continuation higher. So from lows we can have a 1, 2, up in 3, 4 and 5. So we will basically on this higher level repeat all of these fractals. As you can see, the base impulsive move, these fractals will all multiply it inside the wave structures on the intermediary, minor and even sub-minor degrees, and that will give you the perfect Elliott wave sequence. And this is the way how I usually do it on all charts. I know it's a lot of things to do at once. I have a couple of other tricks which is gained by experience. I will of course not reveal that now. I plan to do an Elliott Wave seminar or a webinar with my clients and members of Crypto Lab. So if you want to see our work, and we do all of that work on all of these stocks and cryptos. We also have crypto categories where we do go over different categories, as I said, and we do Elliott wave counts on all of them with a couple additional things. We also track the macro themes and look where the liquidity is going, with a couple of stocks related to cryptos as well from the SMH sector to show you. And I think for Elliott wave lovers it will be interesting how I do build my wave counts, and what is the things that I'm looking where I'm building them. And my overall view is that MSTR and Bitcoin, after this correction is done, will continue higher to new highs for now, as long as we are keeping the price above this wave count invalidation levels. So thank you guys, and see you at Crypto Lab. Bye bye.